Okay, hello everybody. Glad you're with us here on a Wednesday with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. I don't know if you use this term anymore. I've been checking the wire.
People the wire?
That. Yeah, remember that back in the old radio days? You checked the AP wire or whatever.
Fresh off the wire. Here
wire. Yeah.
Our AP weather,
Looking for coaching, firings, hirings, or changes. I don't see anything today. Just a lot of chit-chat.
No, just a lot of chit-chat. There's nothing seismic anymore. Although we've gotten kind of used to all that.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly gets fired at LSU despite doing 20 games over 500. Crazy. Those people. Huh. I'm not impressed anymore. We live in an age where it's difficult to get anybody just totally shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the last thing that has come across the wire that you have been like, holy smokes? I'm not talking about news.
I can remember, Barry, that now that you bring that up, I do remember one thing that is stuck in my brain. There again, I don't know why stuff like this I remember, but back in the early days in the radio business, if you remember back at our old employer where two of our FM stations were, not the two when you walked in the front door, but the two that were behind them. Originally, where those studios are today was a newsroom.
Yes. You had Shed, you had Marcus. I mean,
yeah.
Those guys were getting after it.
That's exactly right. That was the place. And I was on there just dilly-dallying around looking for some stuff, and boom, comes across the wire. Jerry Garcia has passed away. Never forget it. And I got some friends that are, still today, deadheads.
Yeah.
And I remember calling some of them up and saying, hey, man, I hate to tell you this. So I hate to tell you, but, man, Jerry passed away today. What? No. I said, man, I'm telling you, it's coming across the wire right now. I'm looking at it. And this is, pre-cell phone, pre-social media. The only way to find stuff out was like that, through the radio or TV.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, they were not. That was a tough couple of months for those guys.
In a sports venue.
Yeah.
The sports venue, what was the one? I mean, we've seen the kick six, and we've seen the, 4th and 13 or the 4th and 31 or the 3rd and 3rd, whatever it was. We've seen those, but I'm talking about coming across the wire. Holy smokes. What is that? MJ retiring.
I did hear about Coach Bryant's death on the radio. I do remember that.
That was 1982, right?
Yeah. I didn't see it. I just heard it.
Yeah.
It was in the afternoon. I was by the old Burger King on Carter Hill Road when that happened.
Because nowadays, I mean, you've got Twitter, and John has got a network of about what feels like about 700 people that, hey, man, did you hear? Hugh Freeze has got an ingrown toenail.
Speaking of that, Barry,
how about that?
One of those guys sent me the updated latest college football TV ratings. We'll get to those later.
Shocking, yeah.
Still waiting for those baseball ratings, John from Wetumpka. Still waiting.
It's just, that way that we are, and again, news, I get it. Charlie Kirk, I get it. And I know, not that they're comparable. I'm not comparing anything, but stuff that is just, wow, whoa, really? And, you get on social media and thoughts and prayers and can't believe it. And some people, I love the people that'll post, wow. Okay, yeah, thanks for that contribution. But nowadays in the world of sports, it's difficult to shock us anymore. Brian Kelly loses bad to Texas A&M, fired.
Yeah, done.
Then you get it started, I heard that he and the athletic director had a shouting match in their office, and the athletic director fired him because he was, recently unkind to him or something like that, But it's hard anymore to be shocked, with sports news. So, that's why now in this medium, and in the medium we were in before, really any medium, we're not here to break news.
No.
Because you've got people evidently, you are the media. Now, we've been told that you are the media, and you guys break your own stories.
The best way that I can think about we used to break the news about what recruit was visiting where before signing day on the first Wednesday in February. January was filled with, what are you hearing? What do you know? What's going on? Who's going where? Who's doing that? And people would call us, call the radio station, whatever. Now they know it before we do because it's all over social media. So yeah you're right. Really, our forum over the last 30 years, it was informative. Now it's more analysis, opinion, and comment, which I kind of like better, actually.
It used to be where, some guy would get on the air with us with his loose leaf binder with all the notes and saying, the word is that this 5-star has canceled his visit to so-and-so. And we'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
He's not coming at all? Nowadays, it's like, well, yeah, see, I hear his mama, she didn't like the coach's wife not saying hey to her in the parking lot at the high school. And mama and coach's wife got in a little disagreement. And so, all that stuff. And I remember one time, this was recently, and I love doing this. I'm not complaining, but a college student who wants to get into our business, solicited me to watch his reel of, he's done some play-by-play, which is what he wanted to get into. He's done a podcast and all that. And good kid, he sent me the podcast. He said, tell me what you think. Tell me, whether you like it if I was to get into sports talk radio. And his podcast was, in a look at sports last night, the Mets beat the Washington Nationals to maintain their lead in the National League East with a 5-3 victory. Elsewhere in sports, this weekend starts the U.S. Open, where, I'm thinking, no. I mean,
that would have worked back in the 80s.
You know what I got? I got this right here. It's my cell phone. I can find that out in 2 seconds if I want to. So nowadays, I keep thinking, all right, before, John and I get on the air, okay, what's the big news? What's the big story? And it's not you're looking at it like we're going to knock, Ty Edwards' socks off, or, man, Plainsman Preston says, I did not know that. Holy smokes. Yeah. What we're looking at is news of the day, scores, okay. What happens? Why is this good? Why is this bad? What happens next? What should they do? What's the big mistake that they're about to make? That type of thing. So,
sure.
Well, you hope you understand.
It is. It's more, comment analysis, back and forth, which, it's good. Your thoughts, our thoughts, things of that nature. You know it. You know the score.
Yeah.
We're going to break it down for you. Kind of like a game last night, but we'll talk more about that later.
We can talk about it now if you'd like. See, do we also get this from our buddy LSU Mark? He says, good morning, guys. Chat GPT says John Sumrall slight edge over Kiffin as the top pick for LSU. Chat GPT?
What is that?
Oh, John. Chat GPT is taking over the world.
Is that the thing where you want them to write a term paper for you and they kind of get it all done and you kind of mix some words around and
back in the day, John used to call that new boy.
Yeah.
That was his Chat GPT. Chat GPT can't wash a car either. So, new boy had that advantage right there.
You ain't kidding. Or go pick up my laundry and lose some weight.
It's opinion, but Chat GPT and AI, it's not a real person. They're just looking around, they're checking everything, amassing all the average data out there and say, slight pick? Ain't nobody looking at Chat GPT that's making the decision, I hope.
Mark, I'm going to agree with you. I think John Sumrall does have a slight lead. Nobody told me that, my opinion, but I'll tell you why. I saw an interview that John Sumrall did yesterday. A couple of things that struck me. He's got a list on his desk of the 5 ways to success via a la Nick Saban. Also, he made a quote that I wrote down that I thought, how did I not think of this one myself?
Oh, boy.
If you keep slapping people on the back, you'll end up with shanola in your hand. He didn't say that. He used the real word. I thought, Coach, man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
If you keep slapping people on the back, you'll end up with shh in your hand. And I thought, man, yeah, I hear you, buddy. So that's LSU people love that type stuff. And we've talked about Summerall. Obviously, I don't know him half as well as Barry does, but we've interviewed him, been around him. Looks like a football coach to me, and he's been successful wherever he's gone.
I don't know.
Eye test. He passes my eye test.
He looks like a by-gosh coach.
Yeah.
So
I like what to say, too, I'll tell you.
Preview and stuff, we'll hit you up with that, what we think. Missouri, they haven't played anybody. I know they're 5-0, but really.
Yeah.
That's
right. Or kind of my feelings on Alabama's offensive line Monday on the program.
And about an Auburn running back from 14 years ago. Who has he gotten those?
Speaking of running backs, how's that running back in Missouri doing it lately?
Not doing all that great.
Yeah.
But, that's what happens when you play good defenses out there. So, what we do have today, Dodgers lose yesterday. I watched every bit of that game yesterday.
I watched a little bit now that I think about it.
Yeah. Are you sure it was the right game? Yeah. Shohei Ohtani, he takes the loss.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because I saw him pitching.
There you go.
So it was last night because I thought, man, this guy really can pitch. Jeez.
Yeah, those 100 miles an hour. Jays win yesterday, 6-2 final. They play tonight, actually, again in Los Angeles. That again is a 7:00 start time.
Was Mary Hart at the game last night?
She was. She left early, though.
Come on,
She left early because the Dodgers were losing. Mary Hart is on my bad list. Mary Hart is a fair weather fan. Mary Hart, you let me down.
How many innings did she make it before she left?
I didn't really notice until it was the 8th inning and the Dodgers were down 6-1. And they showed a shot of the on-deck circle, and there was a couple of seats empty behind the on-deck circle. And I said, man, are people leaving already? They paid for these tickets. Los Angeles, the Dodger fans are notorious for trying to beat traffic.
Is traffic bad or something? Well,
and then I looked over there, and Mary Hart, she's not even there anymore.
Come on,
maybe
Mary.
She went to go get, the bison dog or something. But
has anybody spotted Geddy Lee at the games in L.A.? I know he's a big Blue Jay fan, and I know we got the Rush ticket exchange going here on the chat line.
No kidding. What's going on with Rush? Those guys are 70 years old.
Dates, Barry. They're playing 58 dates beginning in June out in L.A., and they wrap it up in Vancouver in November. I hear the tickets are a little large from what I understand. I'm just not sure Geddy can hit those high notes anymore. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Geddy Lee has never weighed more than about $115 in his life, so I don't know that he has the strength to get to those high notes. Although last night, I don't know if he was there or not, but they showed Magic, and they showed Meghan Markle and Prince William.
Really?
They were at the game. She's wearing a Dodgers hat. He didn't know anything about it. I will say this, even with a small crowd, there was more people at that game. The Dodgers were losing by 4 in the bottom of the ninth by far than there were at the Kennesaw State UTEP game.
I'll take your word for it on that.
Yeah, Kennesaw State beats UTEP last night. Kennesaw State is 6-2.
Yeah.
This team out of nowhere and somewhere in Georgia is doing pretty well. They didn't give us a list of the crowd size or anything like that, but I peeped on it real quick, And there wasn't nobody there. James Madison, JMU is 7-1. They beat Texas State.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more later. Barry, got some good news. Our president is a baseball fan. I hear.
Yeah.
Not only is he a college football fan, and dropped the Roll Tide over in Japan yesterday in front of a group of our troops that he was speaking to there on his trip of Japan and Malaysia and Korea.
Under what context? I mean, you just don't say.
I want to say the commander is an Alabama fan, and he brought up the fact that he was, and then he started talking about the game and gave the crowd a Roll Tide, and they cheered. And I'm surprised you hadn't seen it. It's all over the internet. And then I heard later, probably on Jesse Waters, that Trump and the Prime Minister of Japan were late to a meeting because they were watching the Dodger Blue Jay game.
Well, that was probably the Prime Minister of Japan's deal. That was probably his thing because Shohei was pitching. I mean,
the Dodgers are huge into Japanese people love the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. That's because of Shohei and because of Yamamoto and because of Roki Sasaki and
all these big dignitaries are sitting around a table waiting for them to show up. And some of the World Series.
There you go.
Which the spokesman, the Japanese spokesman, called a match. Said they were watching the interpreters and stuff over there, and to me that would be very frustrating. But they got to do that. So Trump with a big Roll Tide yesterday, and watching the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Trump was asked, "What team are you rooting for?" I mean, what a dumb question.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
I would have answered it until Canada becomes the 51st state. I'm a Dodger fan.
There you go. And it is the Gulf of America. So
yeah, it is. I teased it, Barry. College football television ratings. When we get back, you ready?
This is off of your phone from an unnamed contributor?
Oh, no, it's official. It's from the SEC office.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
The Prime Minister of Japan is a woman. You're exactly right.
Yes.
That's true. You're right
there
about
you go.
that.
We've got a lot to get to on the program today. CJ Duncan in a little bit, Robert Kahn, Phoenix Physical Therapy, Josh Harris, the Money Line Magician. Don't chat it, Preston. We know how you feel.
Hate to break it to you, Theotis. Josh had an unexpected meeting pop up this morning. He's going to have to reschedule. Theotis, I know.
You'll be okay. You'll be
okay. Josh can't join us today, so we'll reschedule him. So don't freak out, Theotis.
Glad that you're with us here.
Yes.
He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The drive into fall event is bigger and better at Stivers. Over 150 new Rams in stock, up to 21 grand off or 0% for 6 years. At heavy-duty Rams, 13 grand off.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
The drive into fall event is bigger and better at Stivers. Gladiators, 11 grand off. Wranglers, 12 grand off. Even 3-row Grand Cherokees, 13 grand off or 0% for 5 years.
Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Price sells new cars and trucks in Prattville.
Okay, it is about 20 minutes past the hour here on this Wednesday with Longshore McKnight. So glad you're with us here today. As we mentioned, the Otis, CJ Duncan at the bottom of this hour. We'll talk with Robert Kahn of Phoenix Physical Therapy at the top of hour number 2. Josh Harris going to reschedule for later this week. Had a meeting come up. We certainly understand that. That'll work. Yeah. ABC wins the day. Airs top 3 games. That's how the release. That's how the release goes. Week 9's most watched game across all networks.
Yeah,
At 7.8 million viewers with a peak of 10.3 million. That was Alabama at South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a okay game. I mean, it wasn't a scenic beauty.
Yeah, maybe
South Carolina?
Alabama was behind most of the game.
Yes.
Maybe that had something to do with it. So many people pulling against Alabama.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who love to see Alabama get beat.
Yeah.
To those people, I say shame on you.
Yeah, come on.
Don't you appreciate the brand? Don't you appreciate the legacy?
Yeah. Like Notre Dame. I wonder what Notre Dame games rate. I wonder about that.
Okay, what else you got?
You got Texas A&M and LSU with 6.8 million viewers, peaked at 7.9. Followed by Ole Miss at Oklahoma at 6.6 million viewers, peaked at 9.6 million.
Oh, okay. So give me that number again. Oklahoma, Ole Miss, 2 really good programs. Lane drives the bus a little bit. Oklahoma helmet team. Alabama's rating was average rating 9.9.
Average rating 7.8 million.
Oh, 7.8.
10.3 million.
10.3. Okay.
Peak. Now, where did those 3 million people go? Huh.
We're watching other stuff.
Huh, okay.
This is coming from you?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Other people change channels and stuff in the middle of ball games?
If you watch the quad box, can you get rated on all 4 games?
You know, that is a legitimate question that I've never thought of before.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Barry, last night I went quad box with Fox News, World Series, and the 2 college games last night. It was great. I was listening to Jesse and watching the games without any audio. It was beautiful. All right. So the third game, Ole Miss and Oklahoma, as I mentioned, 6.6 million.
No, so that's only $1 million off.
Yeah. Only 200,000 less than Texas A&M and LSU. Peaked at Oklahoma and Ole Miss had a higher peak at 9.6 million. But their overall rating was 200,000 less than LSU and Texas A&M. Coming in fourth at 3.1 million viewers, peaking at 4.2 million, Missouri at Vanderbilt. There's one game I'm kind of curious about. Did anybody watch the Auburn at Arkansas game?
I should have known that was coming. I should have known. Where's my head? I should have known when you go through all those numbers, there's going to be an Auburn question on there.
ESPN Network scored the top game in 23 of 27 Saturday windows.
See, I will say this. You know, I really, really, really like college football. I really, really enjoy watching Auburn football. The many years I spent in Auburn watching the Tigers and covering the teams was a joy. I liked it all. But the way this team plays this year, dinking, dunking passes down the field, RPO. Ooh, will he run it or will he give it to the running back to run it?
Yeah.
All of that. I find it difficult sometimes to watch Auburn play the way they play these days. Now, Curtis does bring up a legitimate point. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know what the ratings were. John seems to intimate, as only John can, that there wasn't a very large rating for that game. It was on the SEC network,
which is an ESPN platform.
Is it available everywhere? I mean, we can get the Big Ten network, but we got to pay extra for it. Or we can used to be able to get the Longhorn network.
Well, I know people out in California that watch the SEC network.
Do you have to pay for it? I mean, do you have to pay extra out there to get the SEC network? I would imagine you would.
I got the Big Ten and the ACC network here. I don't want it. If I'm paying for it, I'm yanking it. I don't ever want. I mean, I got it because I stumble upon it every now and then, but I don't want it.
Well, you got, like Brian says, Barry, even the Auburn fans don't like watching. It's not that I don't like watching it. It's that the way they play, you can go stretches where you don't really have to pay attention to it. You can look up right now when they're on the 7th play of this drive, and you look, and on the bottom, the graphic says 7 plays, 38 yards in, 3 minutes and 15. I'm saying they've only had the ball 3 minutes and 15 seconds. It seems like longer. It's just, I've enjoyed Auburn football a little bit more in the past. Nothing against you or anything like that. When there was a chance that, I don't know, Sammy Coates would make a long catch, or, Nick Marshall would zip one downfield to Ricardo Lewis or something. It's just
with a lineman, ineligible lineman downfield too. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So
that was Sammy Coates, not Ricardo Lewis. The Sammy Coates one was the one with the ineligible lineman 3/4 of an inch over. I mean, you had Bama fans getting their calipers out, saying, see right there, there's that blade of grass that's painted white. That's part of the yard line, and that counts.
Kind of like that fumble against Georgia in the Auburn-Georgia game this year, getting microscopes out to see. Anyway, I've got a group of people. I don't really, subscribe to this so much, Barry, but I got some people that I watch games with, and every now and then Auburn will be one of them. I sit in the back and just kind of observe. They seem to like the way Auburn's playing right now. They actually enjoy watching Auburn games like that.
Again, I'm not criticizing. It's just, for those fans, you're sitting there, you've got your Bud Light, you got your clicker.
Yeah.
And, there's Jackson Arnold on a 2-yard keeper.
Yep.
There's Jeremiah Cobb around right end, no gain. There's an underthrown pass on a slant to Eric Singleton. And you got this thing, and it's right there. And if you just push that button, I mean, you're Botagetta, big as anybody, but you push that button, you can be watching Oregon or Ohio State. Or
now, these people that I've seen watch Auburn games, can you believe that? I've never seen a team so inept. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is great.
But they ain't changing the channel. Those people ain't changing. They're the ones that are the rank and file of whatever numbers Auburn does.
That's called the driveway crew. Hey, let's go out the driveway and listen to see what Andy's saying. Terrence, I do not know the rating for the Miami-Stanford game. I think that was a couple of weeks ago. So I'll have to dig that one up. I'm not really sure. That was a night game, I believe.
Yeah, that was middle of the night. We were watching, we were listening to that one coming back from Monroe, Louisiana, at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I thought what we were going to be getting to was how college football compared against
I hear you, Brian.
Major League Baseball.
Well, I don't know. I know John from Wetumpka's been busy. This is a busy time of year for him. And, you know, Barry, I guess I could look up the baseball ratings. I guess.
Well, he didn't even look up the college football ratings. Thank gosh he's got his network of supporters that, hey, John, make sure you tell Barry this because when he says that, you know.
I just don't want to steal John from Wetumpka's thunder. I know he really enjoys sending the baseball ratings to us. Probably not now. I'm not sure these baseball games have peaked at 10.3 million. Who knows?
The ratings are
7.8. I don't know. I would hope that the baseball ratings would be good, but I'm not betting on it.
Well,
I'm going to bet on it.
Ratings are always good for us when CJ Duncan enters into the conversation, and he's next. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry and Longshore and McKnight are giving you the opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. Pick the exact score for either the Auburn or Alabama games each week. Limit 1 entry per person, per household, per game. You can enter anytime beginning Monday morning the week of the games, and all entries must be received before kickoff of each game. Enter by emailing your picks to longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. That's longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. And in the subject line, type in diamonds. 1 additional entry to win a 1-carat natural diamond valued at $3,000 will be up for all weekly winners to pick the score in the national championship game. Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. Open 7 days a week, or check them out at marguerites.com. At Marguerites, they make it. They really make it.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, back at it here, about 28 minutes to the top of the hour. Our man CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us as he does each and every Wednesday. Hey, CJ, hope you're having a good day.
Good morning. How y'all doing, guys?
We're doing really well. Got to ask you, CJ, I was a little sour about all this. How did you think Nate Bargatze did as the guest picker for College Game Day? I was a little disappointed they didn't listen to you.
Yeah, you know what? It goes like that sometimes. I knew it was a long shot, but you know what? When you've got a really good friend, you stand up for him and you try to give him an opportunity. So that was my Hail Mary right before College Game Day. But Nate's been a fan of Vanderbilt for a long time, always does a great job. So just proud to see how our fans showed up, how our students showed up. It seemed like it was well received.
Well,
Man,
He got me whenever he was giving his pick for LSU. He picked LSU over Texas A&M. He said, you got to give him credit. They played it close against the best team in the nation last week. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's a good one. Man, what an atmosphere, too. I mean, the game day atmosphere, the atmosphere inside the stadium. Man, it was electric.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to get a ticket nowadays. They give us a few comp tickets there at the beginning of the year. And I've got friends of mine asking, hey, can you get me a ticket? I'm like, absolutely not. I can barely get a ticket. I'm barely getting my wife in, so yeah. It's a new age at Vanderbilt right now, and we're just excited to see all the success.
Never trailed in the game. How handled Missouri 17-10 final score. One final thought about that from me. Best part of the whole day, and I watched as much of it as I could with, my game coming up. The best part of the whole day was Clark Lee on College Game Day. That guy has got something to him. There's some depth to Clark Lee, CJ.
He's absolutely sharp. I was receiving text that morning saying, "Man, I've got a crush on your coach," or "I wish your coach was my coach," these kind of things. But Clark he's just one of the guys, and he understands what it means to the players. I think him being a former player and him seeing Vanderbilt at its lowest, even back when he was playing, it just means a little bit more to him. And I think what he's doing to get us to this point, to lead and guide these men, is truly impressive. At this point, I'm just scared we may lose him. There may be somebody that just completely outbids us for him at some point, but he's done an excellent job.
CJ, the nation's caught on notice. They know Vanderbilt's good. They know about this program. I mean, they're in the college football playoff conversation. They're ranked extremely high. And this has been an interesting gauntlet. I mean, it started with the victory over LSU. They beat Missouri last week and all that fanfare. And then the next four aren't a cakewalk either. You're at Texas. Auburn comes to town. Kentucky, they're struggling. Then Tennessee at the end of the year. How do you think this coaching staff maybe avoids, reading the newspaper clippings or getting, too caught up in what they're saying on SportsCenter, all that rat poison, as Nick Saban would call it?
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I think this team is different. I think that at the end of the day, I think this team probably thinks they're truly the best team in the country, or maybe number 2 in the country, right? So they still feel disrespected. I still think we have a chip on our shoulder. But you're right. This is what they call the gauntlet of the SEC schedule. And we've got to remain focused. There's a lot of trap games in there. Although Arch is not playing probably this weekend, you're still playing Texas on the road, right? They're still going to be a formidable opponent. And then, of course, Auburn. Auburn's, just a couple plays away from only being a 1 or 2 loss team. So they're a good opponent. And then, of course, Tennessee at the end of the year, which scares me to death. I don't want to leave it up to Neyland for us to get into a playoff or to go to Atlanta. And all those things are still on our plate right now. So it's going to take a next level of focus. Diego kind of feeds off his own energy. I think he knows ways to get himself going. But the rest of the team, we've got to make sure we manage what our day-to-day routine looks like and just take it one weekend at a time.
CJ, number one, are you shocked that Brian Kelly was fired at LSU? And number two, is there a message that sends that you pick up on about the state of college football or LSU football?
Sure. No, not surprised. From what I have been hearing from folks that I speak with, he had lost the locker room already. He had lost the alumni base. When you watch LSU play, you usually see Odell Beckham or Tyrann Mathieu on the sideline, or Jarvis Landry, some of the former greats of LSU. You didn't really see that as much this year. And I think that's a problem. And that's a problem to the boosters as well, because that's also a part of your recruiting and your future going forward. There's no better recruiter than guys that have already played there. And so if you add that on top of losing back-to-back weeks and Death Valley basically being emptied out by the third quarter, it makes it very difficult to keep your job. And so not surprised by that, but also no one in the SEC should be surprised. There's a reason why the slogan is "It means more," right? There's an expectation, right? You're going to get paid a lot of money, but there's an expectation to win within a 2 or 3 year period. And he hadn't done that. And the guys before them that they had fired had better records and had already won an SEC championship and a national championship. The guys they fired. So that is the minimum, what they had done. You've got to do better than that. And he was not able to do that. So not surprised. No one in the SEC should be surprised. If you take a job down here, it's probably better if you're from around here. It just doesn't go well for you if you try to fake it. Clearly, And you got to understand that winning is mandatory.
Yeah, I'm with you, CJ. I think he'd lost the locker room as well. So I wonder, as LSU regroups, interim head coach, they head to Tuscaloosa in a little over a week. I'm not sure that's good for Alabama. I think they're going to get an LSU team that's kind of re-energized, revived, kind of rebooted. And this team's kind of like, okay, it's us against the world now. We do see a lot of times where coaches are relieved of their duties during an off week. But in this case in particular, I think it's good for LSU in terms of their wins and losses from here on out.
I couldn't agree more. This is the scariest position to be in if you've got LSU still on the schedule. The interim coach is a long-time LSU guy, Louisiana guy. I think he's been like their top recruiter in the state for a long time. And you've got the likes of Cortez Hankton and Corday Hankton also being a part of that group that's just going to help lead the troops for the rest of the year. Those guys are going to play some inspired ball, man. They're going to play really hard, really fast for that coach, probably hoping that coach gets the job. It's unlikely, but but you're delusional when you're in the mix of it, when you're in the flow of it. You're like, man, if I just play this well, the guy I want to have the job may get the job. And so I would not want to play LSU right now. I really would not. And especially if Nussmeier can get a little healthy, it's going to be trouble. I do believe that.
CJ, should Auburn start Ashton Daniels in the game on Saturday against Kentucky?
100%. Yes, it's time. You kind of felt even on this past Saturday like, all right, when are we going to get done with this? It was, their Jackson Arnold, he was in there and they're like, it was almost like they were forcing him out there. He threw a touchdown, but other than that, and it took an incredible catch by Cam Coleman, but other than that, it just felt very forced. And everyone's just waiting on a breakthrough, right? There's a lot of talent on that team, offensively and defensively. Defense has held them in games, but we're just waiting on something else to happen. They need some juice to that team. And I think, the quarterback switch is probably the right answer right now in this moment to give everybody else a little bit more energy. And hopefully that turns into some wins.
Yeah, I think they're similar to LSU. I think a switch at quarterback could be very, very good for this Auburn team. I kind of got the feeling that maybe, I don't want to say the players are getting stale on Jackson Arnold. It kind of felt that way. Maybe this will be the energy and the boost that they need. And of course, there again, got another big one coming up this week. Kentucky coming in, a game that, man, they dropped this one on Saturday night. I don't think Hugh Freeze makes it back to his house.
It's hard to recover from a Kentucky loss. I sat there and watched, Tennessee play them this past weekend, and Tennessee was playing with their food, man. I mean, Kentucky's just not a good team at all, man. I'm like, man, this is brutal to watch, and the only real spark they have on that team is the kid Law that was an Alabama guy not too long ago. So
yeah, Law.
But even he's got his limitations. So I mean, Auburn really should not have any problems this weekend.
What is your advice to Lane Kiffin? With all of these opportunities that are about to present themselves to him, I think he's in a pretty good spot, though, right?
Yeah, he's in the best spot. I think in the state of Mississippi, there cannot be any contracts higher than 4 years or longer than 4 years. So he has to get his contract renewed pretty often there in Mississippi. And every time his name comes up in a coaching search, I'm sure they're looking to re-up his contract. They're looking to extend it even further out. But my advice to him, one, would be to hear everything out, let it play out, and get yourself up to where the highest bidder has to come get you, kind of thing. Find it from a financial perspective. I think he should be patient. But my buddy, one of my closest friends here in Birmingham, is a huge Ole Miss guy. He's not gonna like me saying this, but what else can he do at Ole Miss? That's where I stand with it. I feel like he's maxed out what Ole Miss is capable of. Will Ole Miss win a national if you had to just say right now off the top of your head, will Ole Miss win a national championship in the next 3 to 4 years?
Wouldn't bet on it.
No.
Okay. Now, if he was coaching at the University of Texas, if he was coaching at Louisiana State University, or even Florida, just based on their history, will he win a national championship in 3 to 4 years? You're like, there's a chance.
Better chance.
Maybe, you think more highly of that than you do of Ole Miss. And so to me, what's more important, the money or your legacy? I feel like Lane has made a lot of money in his career. That shouldn't be an issue. He's done really well for Ole Miss, changed the culture, changed the program around. I think it's time for a fresh start and for him to actually be able to get over that hill, to get to the top of the mountain. I think he's going to have to do that elsewhere. I don't think Ole Miss will be able to recruit or sustain that kind of player long enough for him to do that. So me personally, I would wait on the Texas job. I think Sark is probably going to leave to go to the NFL at some point.
Oh,
wow. Or I would go.
What's the word in Nashville? Is he going to the Titans?
You know what? He could go to Nashville. That was one of the ones that I circled that he may go to. That's a pretty good fit. And, he likes to go, kind of hook his wagon to a young quarterback with talent and kind of help them move forward. So I could definitely see that happen. But I would wait on LSU or Texas if I were Lane Kiffin.
Let me circle back before we let you go on Alabama again. We know it was the 5th of 5 straight, going on the road to Columbia, trap game, blah, blah, blah. But CJ, there again, Alabama's continued lack of a running game, and their offensive line has had a ton of problems Saturday in Columbia. And I know they keep winning, and Ty Simpson's playing incredibly well, but to me, that's going to come back and bite them in the butt. I just am amazed they are able to keep winning with no running game and issues on the offensive line.
It is shocking to me. I don't I don't necessarily understand it, but it keeps working out in their favor. I mean, I thought for sure there William Bryce that it was going to be Alabama's first loss. There was just too many mistakes, too many just bonehead controllable penalties there during that game. And South Carolina was rolling, and especially with Lenore Sellers being a running quarterback. I was like, this is kind of that kryptonite of Alabama. It's happening in real time, but just found a way to win. But also, that's the SEC. Any given Saturday is going to be very tough. If you can survive and advance, then that's a good season. At the end of the year, we won't talk about how close it was in South Carolina. We'll just say Alabama beat South Carolina on the road. Yeah. But I look at the rest of their schedule, and like we said earlier, it's scary playing against a LSU with with nothing to lose, basically. And then you've still got Oklahoma and Auburn at the end of the season. I do believe that it will catch up with you. LSU's got an excellent defense. Kind of scratch out this past weekend. I think. Yeah, we said it. They knew Brian Kelly. Excuse my lack of words, but he was dead man walking, man.
Sure.
Like the guys weren't going to play for him, So just scratch that game off and think about who LSU's been this year. Excellent defense, excellent up front as well. So. And they're so good on the back end at LSU with their corners and their safeties, it's going to force you to run the ball. So Alabama's going to be forced to run the ball. Oklahoma, Venables has had a great year on the defensive side as well. And Auburn, a lot of bad things have happened at Auburn, but the one good thing is their defense, right? So Alabama's going to have to figure something out. If they continue to play, if the offensive line continues to play like they're playing, don't be surprised if you see maybe 2 losses right here at the end of the season. And you don't want to see that going into playoff time.
There you go. Boy, this is great stuff. CJ, we can't begin to thank you enough. CJ Duncan visits with us this time every week. We always feel smarter after our visit, CJ. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys. We need Ole Miss and Texas A&M to drop a couple games. I'm trying to go to Atlanta, guys. We need to just drop a
We're
couple
pulling
and
for
we'll be
you.
okay. Yeah.
I hear you.
Appreciate you.
See you guys. Y'all have a good
All right,
one.
buddy. See you next week. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joining us here today. Always a lot of great insight and information from CJ. Just to think, Vandy in Atlanta in the SEC championship
I
game,
would
man.
love it. Love it. TV networks, not so much, I would imagine.
Well, I don't know. Vandy did pretty well with that Missouri game last week. Not so bad. I do see, Barry, that Terrence has submitted some baseball World Series TV ratings.
Has he?
Yeah, it was earlier. It's right about the time we started our interview with CJ.
He says Longshore, the World Series game 1 and 2 averaged around 12 million with peak audience around 13 million. Don't have game 3 or 4 yet via Fox Sports PR on the Twitter machine.
Now, I have no reason to doubt that, Terrence. And that would be nice. That's amazing that a National League Championship Series game, there were about 10 million more people watching the World Series compared to a National League Championship Series, based on John from Wetumpka's numbers that he sent to us when that was going on.
Series.
So that's amazing that many more people are watching the World Series. About, about 3 million more than watched a regular season Saturday afternoon college football game where there were dozens of other college football games being played at the same time on television. And this one standalone marquee championship event in Major League Baseball outraged them, allegedly. So good for baseball. Now, will that be in the top 100 sporting events from a TV rating standpoint this year? We'll just have to wait and see. But
sometimes I have learned that you just got to let Longshore run with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's better than not to cut him off and just let him run out, because obviously there's got to be some flaw in the numbers if that was the case. And even if there was, there's so many different reasons why baseball is tanking and obviously is on its last legs, and these ratings and stuff certainly should be on the, whatever John said, the top 100 television shows
sporting events
of the year.
Sporting events.
Yeah.
Now, my brother-in-law just texted me, Barry, said if you add Japan and Canada, the number is even larger. Is that for the Alabama game? What game are you talking about?
We gotta. If he's done now discounting it, we can move on to a commercial break, because I don't know. It feels a little tricky.
It is the second largest TV market in the country. So, I don't know how large of a market Tuscaloosa is, but I know LA is the number 2 market. I do know that.
Yeah. Well, it is. If we're done,
I'm done. Thank you, Terrence. Appreciate Terrence giving us that info today.
The energy of John discounting those numbers is not close to being matched by John discounting the numbers he was supplied earlier anonymously about college football.
No, that's from the SEC office. Yeah, I'll send that to you.
You get a text from the SEC office?
Well, ever since I said, "Hey Barry, I don't get any email from the SEC anymore. Are we hooked up for media days?" He goes, "Well, you probably ought to tell them you're not with your former employee anymore." I went, I hadn't done that yet. So I'm good to go with the SEC now.
There is a cause and effect.
Yeah.
Coming up in just a bit, we're going to think we sound smart when we get CJ Duncan on the air. We do. We sound smart when we get Robert Kahn on the air as well from Phoenix Physical Therapy. He's next with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them, to fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is excited to participate in our annual Catch Me in Pink campaign, raising money for cutting-edge breast cancer research. We partnered locally with the Joy to Life Foundation and Vera Bradley to help raise significant funds in support of the cause. Each week, we are giving away prizes locally in addition to our national grand prize, a tropical trip for two. To enter, simply snap an Ussie of you and a pink-clad Dixie employee and enter it on our website. Dixie will donate money for every photo that's submitted, and you will be entered to win big.
Okay, welcome back in. Couple of minutes to the top of the hour. As Barry mentioned, our man Robert Kahn, Phoenix Physical Therapy, at the top of the next hour. We got some injury news to talk about, some rehab news as well. We'll do that. I got to admit, Barry, I never knew I'd be as interested in television ratings as I have been over the last couple of months, but I don't know. I find it kind of interesting. Yeah. Who's watching what? I never was that interested in it in radio for some reason.
When baseball is over with, John will all of a sudden be no longer interested in ratings. It's a big deal.
Hey,
the thing is,
Theotis, Costco doesn't open till 10, Theotis.
But if you're an executive club member like I am, you can get in at 9 o'clock right after the Thursday show at Montgomery Regional Airport.
Barry, is that kind of like magic hours at Disney World?
Heck, I don't know about magic hours.
You get in. That means you get. Yeah, if you're staying at a Disney hotel, you get in early and you get to stay late, and all the other riffraff has to go home.
Sometimes I wonder if Plainsman Preston is paying attention to us, or he's just sitting here reading the chat line. Because we've said about 4 or 5. Same thing with Chris the Bamber. We've said about 4 or 5 times that Josh Harris has had to reschedule.
So
and we've already said, Plainsman Preston, don't freak out.
Yeah,
we're going to reschedule him.
That's right. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Tell me what is this? So wait a minute. You can go to Costco before everybody else gets to get in?
Yeah, Plainsman Preston said executive hours are at Sam's Club. I'm here to tell you, because I do it a lot. When you got the executive card, you have to pay extra for it.
Yeah.
You can get into Costco at 9, and the regular people can get in at 10. So
I might have to do that when I renew my membership, because sometimes it can get a little crowded in there.
Now, this is different, Ty. This is different. We're talking about an entirely different thing. Ty says, I know what magic hour is at the Gentleman's Club. No.
I just got to tell you, I'm through with Disney World. My kids are too old. I know my daughters would love to go back. They love it. But if you're going to Disney World, you got to stay on a Disney hotel, because the magic hours are worth every minute, every cent.
Here's the thing. Woo. Here's the thing. You are not through with Disney World. You have got grandkids.
They're going to take the grandkids.
I've got grandkids, and by gosh, Jack, I only have one child. He's my son, Jack, who I love with every atom of my being. But I've got 2 grandchildren.
Yeah.
One of them celebrates his 2nd birthday in about 3 weeks, and the other one's 3. If they want to go with Pops and Dee Dee to Magic Kingdom, by gosh, we are breaking open the bank for the grandkids. It's going to be.
I'll give you another bit of advice. And I know people never take me up on it until they come back. But I will say this, and I know it's hard, because some people I know it is, But the longer you can wait in terms of them being a little older, it's much better. Because when they're younger, they get a little tired and cranky and whiny. And the next thing you know, you're back taking a nap, or you're trying to settle them down and you're going, we came down here for this. So just telling you, if you can wait out a little bit when they're like 8 or 9, it's a lot better. But just saying, and I bet Robert Kahn would back me up on that. I mean, he's got young children. I'm sure he's done the Disney World thing. He probably thought, why are we down here now? They're too young. We should have brought them when they were older. Robert, what do you say today?
Robert Kahn from Phoenix Physical Therapy is with us here on the program. Good morning, Robert. How you doing?
Good morning. I caught the tail end of that, something about Disney World, never going back, John.
That's what I told Barry. I mean, I took my children, and when they have kids, if they want to take them, I just feel like I've done the Disney World thing, and I did too, but whew, man, yeah. You can turn an ankle in Disney World, and there's no physical therapy there for you. You got to tough it out.
Pull a Tony Finau, dislocate your ankle as you're walking around the park.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, of course, Robert Kahn is with Phoenix Physical Therapy, online at phoenixphysicaltherapy.com, locations all throughout the area. Cam Scattaboo of the New York Giants very graphically dislocated his ankle. They brought out the cart for the New York Giants, and it was heartrending. Goodness knows, you could tell it really kind of affected his teammates. That's not a broken ankle. Those are different things, correct?
Can be different, can be combined at the same time. So when I saw this on Sunday, I thought, we'll be talking about this on Wednesday morning. It was one of those very graphic injuries. If you dislocate your ankle, I mentioned Tony Finau dislocating his ankle. Do you remember in the Masters, in the par 3 contest?
Yes.
He dislocated his ankles. He actually reduced it himself on the course and ended up playing in the Masters that weekend. So he had a subluxation, a dislocation to where it went back into place, no structural damage. It seemed as if Scattaboo, I think I read that he had surgery. Most likely he had a fracture and a dislocation. So when you dislocate it that severely, a lot of the times you'll have a fracture of one of the bones in the lower joints. You tear some of the ligaments down there, and surgery is required. Other times, in the Tony Finau case, you just reduce it, you rest it, you ice it, you immobilize it, and you move on from there. So there are various, just like every injury, there are various different degrees of dislocations of the ankle, and it seems like Scattaboo had a fracture dislocation.
So, Robert, when we put our shoes on every day, our feet are going this way.
Yeah.
What happened to his ankle and his foot where it was that way? What dislodged, dislocated, torn, ripped, whatever? Because when you see a foot like that, you're going, oh, what happened there?
Yeah, it's just like any other joint. You can dislocate your ankle just like you dislocate your shoulder. You can dislocate your elbow. Different body parts can dislocate where the joint literally comes out of place. So in your hip and your shoulder, it's a ball and socket where the ball comes out of the socket and stays out until you can get it reduced back in. A little bit more complicated at the ankle because you've got 2 bones coming down to your foot bone and your ankle bone down there. And so what it is that bone gets dislodged outside of that joint, and it stays there until you can reduce it back into place. And that's the immediate treatment, is to very painfully get the ankle back into place. And typically when you do that, again, I don't know if Scattaboo had a fracture or not. It seems like he did. But if you're just dealing with a dislocation like a shoulder, like a hip, it's very, very painful when it's out. Once you reduce that joint back in, it's almost the biggest relief possible. And that athlete, that patient starts to go, oh, my God, I totally feel better now.
What about the muscles and the tendons and everything around that, though? I mean, what are they getting ripped or stretched or torn? Particularly in his case.
Yeah. So when you talk about bone to bone, ligaments connect bone to bone, and ligaments are typically what hold the joint together. So when you're dislocating a joint, you're either stretching or tearing the ligaments that are holding it together. And so that's why you get some chronic shoulder dislocations in sports, because you've stretched the ligaments out. They tighten back down some, but they have not tightened back down to the original strength and tightness that you need in that shoulder. And so the shoulder keeps coming out. So that's what we call a chronic or a recurrent dislocation of a shoulder, to where it does end up eventually requiring surgery to go in there and tighten things down.
Is it your opinion that something like what happened to him is partially attributable to the artificial turf, to the field turf?
I don't think so. I mean, from what I saw on that, it looked like, you know, they talk about these hip tackles. What do they call them? The
hip drop or whatever.
Hip drop.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like he was pulled backwards. The ankle just got caught up under the other player, and that caused the dislocation. This was not your plant cut type injury. To me, it was the ankle being put in a position to where it wasn't supposed to go because of the force of the body weight on top of it.
I've seen before, many, many years ago, the process at the Superdome in New Orleans way back when they would just roll out what looked like a thin welcome mat across concrete across the whole thing, and then you'd play an NFL game. John McKay of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers used to say it's just like playing on fuzzy concrete. Is that an issue anymore? Do you like the new field turf with the black pebbles and all of that? Is that satisfactory?
Obviously, they're making, you know, more and more strides in making it more safe. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, the Astrodome, you know, I mean, everybody called it AstroTurf. And all that was like you said, a thin layer of green stuff on top of concrete. Nowadays, the turf gives a lot more. If you've been on one of these newer artificial turf fields, you know, the thing about a grass field is when you plant, the grass will give some, right? And it'll give way to when you're cutting. That's kind of what they're trying to mimic on these new artificial turf, that when you do cut, it's not like cutting on a basketball court or AstroTurf back in the Astrodome. They want it to give a little bit and mimic grass as much as possible to make it as safe as possible. Because you can imagine if it's not giving, you're putting that much more torque on your body.
You know, I remember Legion Field in the early 80s. I played on, well, let me rephrase that. I warmed up on at Legion Field for a playoff game. And I remember thinking, this is the hardest. This is harder than the parking lot out there. I mean, it was unbelievable. And it was kind of even, I guess the turf it kind of aged a little bit. It was kind of crusty and, you know, crunchy. And I just thought, I can't believe we're about to play football on this stuff. It was unbelievable.
And you remember the turf burns? I mean, it would you'd fall and it'd be like you're being tackled on concrete or cement. I mean, tear up your arms.
Oh, it's brutal. It was so bad. So the rehab,
and you'd get scraped and it'd get infected, and
I didn't have that problem, Barry. I didn't have to worry about scrapes or infections.
Yeah.
He had more of the carpal tunnel syndrome, Barry.
I have to say this though, it was one of my best warm-up sessions while I was at Jeff Davis. I will say that. I was focused that night. Rehab. I mean, for something like Scattaboo, I mean, this looks like this is going to be lengthy, and it's a lot to it. What do you say?
For sure. I mean, if there was a fracture, again, what it sounds like, I think I read that he had surgery. So he had a more complicated fracture dislocation. Immediately, we talk about this all the time. The acute phase is immobilization, pain control, swelling control, right? Let everything heal up as best as possible before you start really putting weight on it. He's going to be non-weight bearing for a period of time. After that, they'll start some gentle physical therapy where you really just start working on movement of the ankle, range of motion, flexibility of your Achilles tendon, some gentle strengthening of the foot and the ankle muscles down in your lower leg. Then you start getting more weight bearing and more functional, doing some normal, weight bearing squatting type activities. Then we progress these athletes a return to sport protocol to where you jog, start figure eight running, ease into some cutting activities, ease into full speed, and then you get back to the full contact. So everything we do is based on physiology of let's immobilize it, let's let it heal up. Let's not tear anything that could be torn. Let's not re-injure anything that could be re-injured. If there is a fracture, let the bones heal. And then you just start the gentle return to recovery phase of range of motion, strength, flexibility, then the return to sport comes.
How long is he looking at?
It's months. And again, if it's a fracture and they did surgery, you're probably talking about months. Even just an ankle dislocation would be, 8 to 12 weeks most likely.
Whenever we talk about general injury questions with you, one of the things you always tell us is that every client at Phoenix Physical Therapy, every injury is different.
Yep.
There's no, by gosh, this is the absolute protocol to follow all the time. But I noted this. I wish I had written down this guy's name. Packers were playing the Steelers, and they were talking about a guy, and I can't remember who it was, that had an ACL injury. And, the ACL was always kind of like the hallmark, the absolute worst injury you could possibly have if you're a professional athlete. He had an ACL injury, came back in 10 months. I was going to write that down and ask you about it, but I didn't. And I was noticing yesterday, Shane Bieber was the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. He had been just acquired right before the trade deadline. He had Tommy John surgery. This guy with an ACL injury playing NFL football in 10 months. Shane Bieber had Tommy John surgery, and he missed a year and a half of playing baseball. The rotator cuff injuries may now be, in my mind, supplanting the ACL as the worst possible injury you can have, Robert.
Yeah, rotator cuffs. Let me tell you, it is. It's no fun. I've had one personally. And until you have one, you don't know what it's like to be incapacitated, especially a dominant arm, something like that. But yeah, rotator cuff injuries we don't see a lot of them in the younger athletic population. Very rare in high school to see an athlete with a rotator cuff tear. As you get older, that's where we start to see them, right? An older pitcher, an older individual like us three sitting here today talking about our shoulders. We see those all the time. Seems to be you can have a traumatic rotator cuff tear to where you're lifting something and it tears, boom. Most of what we see are more of a chronic, long-term, gradual tearing of the rotator cuff that needs to go in and get fixed and sewn back together.
Now, the kids, you talk about Tommy John surgery, that's the elbow. That's right. They used to use cadaver tendons or whatever to put in there. You see a good bit more of those in young people. Is that correct?
We see more and more and more than we would like to see these days.
Because
there's all kinds of theories behind it. It used to be, don't throw the curveball before you're 12. And now more of the theory is just overuse, right? I mean, when we played baseball, you played from March to May, and you may have played all-stars for a month into June or whatever. Nowadays we're seeing kids that play baseball 12 months out of the year, literally 12 months out of the year. And you need to rest. You need 3 to 4 months off a year to give your arm some rest. So, now the theory behind it, and Jimmy Andrews up in Birmingham is probably one of the bigger ones, behind this, is pitch counts in these kids. Back when we played, there were no pitch counts, right? If you want to throw 6 innings, throw 6 innings. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, there's a pitch count for your age, what level of baseball you're in. There's pitch counts in high school now. Just trying to keep these arms a little bit more fresh and keeping them from being overused. So now the theory behind it is there's so much baseball going on. And look, there's a lot of money in travel ball. It's not going away. No. It's not going away. So these kids are going to play, and they're going to play 9, 10, 11 months out of the year, but you've got to rest your arms. If not, you're setting yourself up to injury.
Let me ask you this, Robert. Rotator cuff for the baseball player.
Yeah.
I see like golfers and tennis players have these bands around their arms. And at my age, if I play 2 or 3 days in a row, which is rare, but if I do, man, my elbow will start hurting a little bit. That didn't happen in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. Is that what's going on with tennis and golfers? Is it similar to a baseball, or is it totally different?
It's a little bit different. So we're talking about those bands you see on people's arms. That's for what we call lateral epicondylitis or medial epicondylitis. The lateral epicondylitis is what you commonly hear as tennis elbow. Medial epicondylitis is what you hear as golfer's elbow. And basically, it's where the tendon of the forearm attach up above the elbow on the inside, on the outside, 2 separate tendons, and it gets inflamed. It gets irritated, and it's a severe tendonitis. But again, it's one of those things where you think, oh, tendonitis, not a big deal. Advil, ice, I should be fine. It can be very hard to treat. It can be very hard to get rid of. Typically we do a lot of physical therapy for flexibility, for anti-inflammatory procedures, dry needling for tennis elbow and golfer's elbow, straps like you're talking about, immobilization, injections, cortisone injections can help as well. But it is very, very difficult to treat. It's hard to get rid of because it's such a commonly used thing. You got to think, I'm using my right arm and my forearm and my wrist all day long, writing, typing, whatever the case may be. And it's hard to just totally let it stop, settle down, and go away.
Right.
So lateral epicondylitis and tennis elbow, medial epicondylitis, golfer's elbow, very common. See it all the time. It's a common thing we treat in the clinic.
Well, do you treat this in the clinic? People who they play golf, but maybe twice a year at the most, or haven't thrown a baseball in years, or haven't tossed the football around, but they're sitting at the office all day, or they're sedentary and all that kind of stuff around the office. At Phoenix Physical Therapy, you handle those people too.
Absolutely. We see a lot of back problems for people like that, right?
Yeah.
Upper back, lower back. So I sit at a desk and a computer a lot of the day. My posture is not the best. My shoulders tend to roll forward. So what does that do? Back pain, upper back pain. You got to teach yourself good posture. You got to sit. Some people do a standing desk to where they can stand if their low back hurts. Sitting all day with your knees flexed in a chair shortens your hamstrings. Hamstrings are very important in low back. You got to have flexible hamstring or it'll affect your lower back and your hips. So yeah, we see everyday people that suffer from problems from whatever the case may be, including people who are sedentary, that they're debilitated a little bit or just developed some back pain because of posture abnormalities.
I know we've talked a lot about this, but I just wanted to get your thoughts. When you saw Arch Manning in that game against Mississippi State, do you think it was the Mississippi State player? It looked like he maybe hit him with his arm on the back of the helmet or his knee, or when he hit the ground that caused that concussion.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the play. I saw the very end of the game when the backup came in and threw a dart at the edge of the end zone. And
former Troy quarterback Matthew Caldwell.
There you go. Great pass, perfect pass, great catch. I didn't see it, but we see concussions, John, from contact helmet to helmet, contact shoulder to helmet, contact arm to helmet. But it is very, very common. Head gets slammed onto the ground. We talk about the turf. Is the turf soft enough? Is it too hard? I mean, it's like hitting a brick wall sometimes. So very, very common. I think two of Tagovailoa's concussions have mainly been on head hitting the turf. I remember the one he had really bad there a couple, 2 years ago. I think that was a turf related concussion.
Yeah, there's one of those things like we talked about I think with Jam Miller. I mean, the second I saw it, I went, he's out.
Yeah.
You could just tell it by the way he landed. But I thought, the force that his head hit that ground, that was kind of tough. Man, we've covered a lot today with Robert. We always do. And Robert, of course, Phoenix Physical Therapy with locations all over the Southeast, all over Alabama. I know you got some new locations opening. Tell our viewers and listeners all about what you provide there at Phoenix Physical Therapy.
Absolutely. We're very happy. We've got a new clinic opening up in Pike Road in about 4 weeks. So we're really excited about that, trying to finish out the construction out there. Pike Road is a up and coming and growing community, which we're really proud to be a part of. Alabaster, Alabama, up a little bit further north than we typically do, but we opened up there in September. And then we've got just our core group right here in Central Alabama, Montgomery and surrounding areas, Prattville, Greenville, Troy, Wetumpka, Selma, Alex City, and Auburn. So many locations. If you need our services, we'd be more than happy to help.
If you look just on the Google reviews for Phoenix Physical Therapy, 5 stars. The therapists are all very awesome. They take very good care of their patients. They go over and above. Love these guys. They make it fun. How about that?
Yeah. There you go. If you're hurting, you might as well have fun while you're here. And look, I will go to the grave. We've got the best staff that we could ever have. And we continue to upgrade and add new staff members. The people are what make it work. Without good people, we're not who we are. So we've got the best staff that we could ever have by far.
Couldn't agree more. Robert Kahn, Phoenix Physical Therapy, online, phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Appreciate all the knowledge. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks, guys. Talk later.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Robert Kahn, Phoenix Physical Therapy, joining us each and every week with our Phoenix Physical Therapy medical segment. A lot of great info there, Barry. Man, that Scatterboot injury, my brother-in-law, I got a lot of brother-in-laws, and they're all obs. What's up with that? Jeez. Anyway, he was on a folding chair at a hunting camp by himself early in the afternoon, waiting for other people to show up, and was replacing a light bulb. The folding chair collapsed on him. His ankle went that way by himself. Somehow got into his vehicle and drove somewhere. But man, it took him a minute to get that ankle back right.
Wow.
It was tough.
Yeah.
So
I cannot watch stuff like that, like the Scatterboot thing.
Yeah,
you know, they're showing it. I can't watch it. I had that type of thing actually happen to me in 1982, where I broke my leg, and everybody was like looking the other way and getting nauseous.
Well, it's like the Joe Theismann thing on Monday night.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that going, ooh, I wish I hadn't seen that.
Immediately, Lawrence Taylor, who was the one who hit him, goes motioning to the sidelines like that leg was not going where it was supposed to go. Well, when we come back, what say we'll get ready and reveal the Phantom's daily dog?
Well, I guess we have
everybody?
to. Yeah, I guess we have to. Yeah.
And maybe another one as well.
Oh, definitely.
Of course, the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. You heard Robert say, us four old guys, three old guys. Gurn Jr., our producer, he's young, man.
He's pretty young. Yeah, he's pretty
young. You're going to have to deal with a lot of this stuff every once in a while. Like all of a sudden, something will hurt, and you're like, well, that's new.
Yeah, that's how it goes. You're that age, I'll get over this in a day. No big deal.
I've done it before. Let's take a time out. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has F-150s and Lightnings, each $16,000 off, with 2.9% on F-150 or 0% on Lightning. And Super Duties, $12,000 off or 0%.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has Broncos and Explorers, each $10,000 off, with 2.9% on Explorer. Plus, Mach-E's at $11,000 off or 0% for 75 months.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Okay, back at it. It is 23 minutes past the hour here on this gloomy Wednesday. It's kind of dark out there.
I'm here in my home studio. I really love it here. I got a window, which for many years John didn't have in the studio he used to work at. It is raining out there down here in Troy. Raining, stormy, the whole deal. It's going to be that way all day long. But we have got my wife. She texts me, says, dress appropriately. She always, I'm the worst in the weather. I grew up in Florida, where I remember one winter I had to wear a windbreaker.
Yeah.
it was like 40 degrees, thought I was going to die. So I never do dress well for the weather.
So when if I'm not going across the street to steal my neighbor's newspaper, which actually I don't do anymore because I don't think they even have a newspaper anymore, the print edition. So now as I'm going to make my coffee in the morning, put my donut shop K-cup in my Keurig, I step out on my veranda while it's brewing in my boxer shorts to detect the temperature of the day. And boy, this time of year, I'm not out there very long. Oh yeah, a little chilly today. Got to dress appropriately. In the summer, I don't have to do it so much because I know what the temperature is most of the time.
It's hot.
Yeah, it has been a little. It has been a little cooler, to say the least, which I kind of like. Some people don't like cool, cold weather.
I'm not a fan. I'd rather it be 95 than 45. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but
I just don't like the gnats and the mosquitoes and stuff. I really enjoy it when, I got to worry about gnats. Don't have to worry about mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. But, I wouldn't want to live in it, 6 months out of the year.
Well, gnats are entomologically very closely related to fleas.
Really?
And fleas usually are a problem for dogs. And speaking of dogs, it's time.
Oh, you reminded me though, Barry. I got to put that flea stuff on my cat. That stuff you put on once a month behind their neck, so they won't bring fleas into the house. That stuff works. I got to tell you. If you
Cats probably hate it.
Oh, well, at first the cat would run from me. It's like the cat knew it was the first of the month.
Yeah.
During the rest of the month, the cat sit there, no big deal. We'd have a little conversation. He'd let me pet him, but it knows when the calendar's flipping, or sees me get the box of that stuff. Cat's gone. Can't find him.
Somebody once asked me before, in one of those, would you rather be able to understand what cats are saying or speak a foreign language? Wow. And I say, I do not, it'd be kind of cool to be able to speak animal or something, but you don't want to know what your cats are thinking.
No.
I mean, even if I could speak cat, I wouldn't want to, because that cat's like, man, I cannot.
I think that's an interesting question, Barry. It's like I wish I knew how to play the piano. I've always wished I could, play the piano.
I haven't wished for it. My wife plays beautifully.
I'm jealous. Me too.
Yeah, but I've always wanted to be able to do that, John, but I haven't wanted it badly enough for me.
I'm with you. I get it. Sometimes I thought, man, being a drummer would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bass players just kind of sit there, but they do get to stay up front.
Easy. Steve Wingard is listening in from Lillian today.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love a good bass player.
Yeah,
Geddy Lee's a bass player.
I remember one time on this show, I mentioned that bass players are just guys who just want to be in the band. And what can I be the minimum I can possibly be musically and still be in the band? Oh, the bass. Man, I heard from Rusty. I heard from this guy. Our great friend Steve, formerly of Prattville, now down in Lillian.
Man, you got to play. Yeah, they keep the rhythm. I mean, the bass is the rhythm.
Cats are like cats. If you ever wanted to know what cats are thinking about you, I suspect it would be John would not be John. John would be man who puts that smelly bleep on me to keep the fleas off.
That's right.
And feeds me not enough.
And if you could talk to a cat and say, hey, man, it's just doing you good. I mean, look, 30 seconds of something wet on the back of your neck. Come on. You can live with it. For the rest of the month, you're good.
He's plotting your demise, John. He's saying, man, one of these days when he is sleeping, I'm gonna scratch him or whatever. I don't know.
Foreign language, I've thought a lot about that too. One thing I wish I would have, maybe studied a little harder.
Right.
That would really be cool if you could speak multiple languages. I'm impressed that Melania Trump can speak so many foreign languages. That's amazing to me. But I guess Spanish would be the language that I'd want to know how to speak, because I think, besides English, it's probably the most spoken word. I was in Mexico this summer. I was amazed how many people I was around in Mexico spoke English. Not some of them not really well, some of them not at all. had a pretty good grasp of it. I have zero grasp of Spanish. I mean, que paso, I think is what's up, or
that's because John's proficiency in Spanish is directly related to his steadfast viewing of Cheech and Chong movies.
I don't know what big man is in Spanish, but to me, if I could communicate with somebody else in a foreign language, I think that would really be cool.
John is basically one level up from some people's Spanish, which is to put the letter O at the end of every word, So my brother-in-law is Vietnamese, and when they all get together, boy, I got no clue.
Yeah.
With his brothers and his mom especially and all that. Whew.
French would be kind of cool, but I mean, you got to go to France to speak. Where else you going to go?
Canada.
Yeah.
Guess
so. Yeah.
So all of this would not be taking place. This scintillating conversation about foreign languages and stuff would not be taking place, I suspect, if the Phantom's Daily Dog cashed in yesterday, because normally we can't wait to get to it when it's a
This
win.
game was like a foreign language last night. I don't want to use this
like
excuse.
Siberian or something.
Yeah. I don't want to use this excuse of, there's not a lot of games to pick from. I mean, it's not.
We do have college football. We do have the NFL these days here and there. Back in the summer with no NBA, with no football.
And I guess I could go NBA. I just got to get a better feel for it. We're only a week in to the NBA, so I got to get a better feel for it. Obviously, I don't have a good feel for Texas State and James Madison football. This game was actually close for a minute. Don't let the score fool you.
It was 14-7 near the beginning of the second quarter,
and then it was 21-10, I believe, at one time.
Which even then would not have covered.
Yeah, but they James Madison ended up winning 52-20.
Yeah,
we were catching 7 in this game. Texas State at home losing by 32 points. Did they fire their coach last night?
No.
And then so tonight we've got 2 games. I know you told me last week that Middle Tennessee is not very good.
They're terrible under Derek Mason.
Yeah, I'm not going to take them and the points they're getting, and I'm a little hesitant to go against a team that cashed a ticket for me last week in Missouri State, which I didn't know anything about. Still don't. I don't even know where Missouri State's located, but they won for me last week.
Yep. Bobby Petrino used to coach there. Florida International is who Missouri State plays. That's not a school. That's an airport.
Is that where Kiffin coached?
No, he coached at Florida Atlantic.
Florida Atlantic, yeah. But those 2 schools are close to one another, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like within an hour on that little corridor on I-95.
So we see Florida International traveling to Missouri State. There again, not real sure what city they're.
Yeah,
Springfield, Jefferson
It's Springfield.
City?
Yeah, they're in Springfield. I've actually done.
Is that where the Simpsons are from?
USA.
The Simpsons live in Springfield, don't they?
I think it's just like a general Springfield.
Oh, okay.
I know they don't have a nuclear reactor near Missouri State's campus.
Or Spooner Street. No, that's on.
Yeah.
That's on.
There's probably not a single person in the entire phone book in Missouri State named Montgomery Burns.
Smithers. All right. So we're going with Florida International catching 4 at Missouri State tonight. Florida FIU plus the 4 at Missouri State. You think some of those crowds at those games last night were sparse? Wait till you see this one.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody at the Kennesaw State game last night either. Come on, people.
Yeah. That's a tough night to go to a football game on a Tuesday, particularly when the World Series is being played.
Plainsman Preston, no, that's not right either. Florida International, that's not Howard Smellyberger. Howard Schnellenberger was at Florida Atlantic as well in Boca Raton. Florida International, anything we can tell you about? Isaiah Thomas used to be the basketball coach.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic is actually in Boca Raton. It's not in West Palm Beach. Kiffin used to coach there. trying to think of anything. Florida International got like 50,000 students, and about 55% of them are Hispanic. It serves a really, good purpose down there. So anyway, all we want to know is whether they can cover the 4 tonight is what we're asking. That's all we're asking.
I don't care if they lose or not, but just don't lose by more than 4. What is Theotis asking me here? Is Shrek sales still in Lillian?
I don't know. Sometimes Theotis, he'll throw something up there.
Is that a business, Theotis? Because I'm not familiar with it. I certainly know where Lillian is. I'm down there quite a bit, but I don't know about Shrek sales. You have to clear that up for me. That was earlier today. What was the other one I noticed that caught my attention? Maybe I've missed it. But if you want to get in on the River Region Straw chat line, please feel free. It is open. Chris the Bammer's back. We got that. I think he's on his daughter's phone. I don't know if his phone's still unlocked, but we're glad to know that Chris the Bammer is back with us.
Something new and exciting from Bob from Pike Road. John and Barry, remember in February of 2022, Bob from Pike Road called, as stated to you.
2022.
Do we remember that from February 2022? Bob from Pike Road? No. Lee County, which is what Bob calls Auburn. He doesn't like saying the word Auburn. He always says Lee County. He means Auburn. Lee County was at the beginning of a decade of irrelevance and losing. 3 years later, I look like a prophet. Just 7 more years. 7.
Bob also coined disaster on the pasture, I believe.
I don't know if he coined it, but he used it to.
Barry, irrelevance is that's a strong word. But I'm not lurking because I'm actually a premium club member at Auburn Undercover. So I was reading the Botagetta message board. And I saw the word of relevant a couple of times. And I think it was, there was a discussion about Florida and LSU and some of the other schools in this league. Right. Some that are looking for coaches, some that are not. But just kind of where does Auburn stack up with other teams in this league? And I was a little, surprised that, and I mean, I'm assuming people that take the time to write on Auburn message boards are Auburn fans.
Right.
Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm wrong. But their opinion of their standing in the league kind of surprised me.
They don't think they're elite or blue blood, or
I kind of got that feeling, based on the last 10 years. It's been a tough 10-year run.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
I think Philip told me, they won the national championship in 2010, played for another one in 13, went to the, that whole line that he cut and paste and put on those columns.
Well,
so 2013, they played for a national title, and since then, it's been kind of tough.
If you take it for granted, maybe that the Auburn job will come open. You look at the open jobs, and I think Kentucky will come open. I think they'll do right by Stoops. I don't think they're going to fire him or anything. If the Auburn job comes open, you're looking at Auburn, Florida, LSU. Auburn fans, I know what you're thinking. We are, sometimes we can be a circus. Sometimes, we are high maintenance, and we become a stock joke for a lot of people about the way. Well, Florida ain't exactly, Harvard in terms of, standing amongst your peers.
Yeah.
For some reason, Florida has lost their fastball. That Florida, I mean, you had Spurrier rocking, you had Urban Meyer. They were winning championships left and right. You played Florida, and you were like, I hope he can keep it below 20. It ain't that way anymore. They failed so many times. McElwain and Mullen and Will Muschamp and now Billy Napier.
Wasn't there a guy named Zook?
Yeah, Ron Zook.
Ron
Don't
Zook.
get me started. I can name names, but before Spurrier, it was pretty much irrelevant. LSU, you talk about a fan base that is absolutely not so bat bleep crazy.
Yeah.
That LSU job, they'll give you what you need to succeed, but you better succeed like right now.
Well,
so
you
those
do.
3 jobs, if Auburn becomes open, Auburn doesn't have any reason to say, they won't take our job because we're kind of crazy about how we handle coaches. Well, what about Florida? What about LSU?
Well,
if
I think there's a lot
John
of factors.
Sumrall or I'm Lane Kiffin, I don't know. We've been warned off of Kiffin before.
There again, I think LSU.
I'm thinking Auburn might be worth a flutter.
Well, the thing about LSU, they're the only game in town. They're the only Power 4 big-time program. They got a lot of football programs down there, but LSU is the big boy, and they have nobody else down there that they've got to deal with in that regard. Florida's the only SEC team in that state. You got Florida State, you got Miami, but Florida's the only team in the SEC. Auburn, certainly, you got to deal with Alabama right here in your own backyard. Got Georgia right across the state line. And all these schools have histories of, getting rid of coaches maybe a little too early and boosters meddling and all this, that, and the other. And I'm sure, salaries and buyouts have a lot to do with it. But I wonder, is James Franklin going to Auburn? Is Lane Kiffin going to go to Auburn? Would Auburn be interested in Brian Kelly? Is John Sumrall going to Auburn? I'm just thinking of some of the names that you're hearing for some of these openings. And that's where it kind of leads me that, some of these schools are going to hire somebody that, whoa, where'd that guy come from?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like Kalen DeBoer. I don't think when Nick Saban stepped down, the mass of Alabama fans are going, there's our guy. Seattle, Washington, go get him.
For years, John and I would entertain conversation when Saban was rolling up championship after championship in the era of joyless murder ball. We kept saying that, this is unprecedented. This is not going to go on forever. Who are they going to get? And we'd have long conversations with listeners. Dabo, Kiffin, Sarkisian, Jimbo Fisher at one time is going to be, ain't nobody in the world ever said Kalen DeBoer. Oh, guys, you're way off. It's this guy, Kalen DeBoer. Right now, he's the head coach at Fresno State, but, I'm telling you, this guy is going to be the guy. Nobody ever said
Dabo's, that's a good one you bring up. And there were a lot of people, and there again, Saban wasn't going anywhere. It was just this talk about, well, if he does. And
right, yeah.
I like Dabo personally, but I just never thought Dabo was going to be the next coach at Alabama. People, you're crazy. Heck yeah. Coming home, mama call. Look, he's won 2 natties, blah, blah, blah. And we see what's happened to Clemson. I'm amazed at how the bottom has fallen out with Clemson.
It happened
this summer. I said Penn State and Clemson are going to play for the national championship. Wow, how dumb did I look?
Well, but Clemson, I don't think it's Clemson just takes a different approach. They don't use as much NIL. They don't believe as much in transfer portal. They're a developmental program, and that's worked for a while. But they're going to have to come off of that stance.
Yeah.
What is interesting about your point about Dabo is how the Clemson people have responded. I mean, that guy has won them 2 national championships. They have been one of the top 3 most successful programs in the country since he's been the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And when Troy got out in front, they had already lost earlier. They were going to lose a couple more. When Troy got out in front of them 16-0, and then, here comes the hour-long rain delay, there were fans who were booing Dabo. Dabo actually in one post-game press conference says, hey, if you get rid of me, if you're tired of all this winning. It's the way they've reacted to Dabo where, he's thinking,
and I
put this daggum place on the map and you guys are talking to me like this. Maybe he would be now open to exploring other options.
I think he's got to get open to getting into that NIL business, transfer portal. But there again, some of the people out there, do you still want Clemson and Florida State in the SEC? I mean, what do they bring? Why would you want them? Oh, geographically, they're a fit.
Oh, not the lip play. Oh, wow. That was a good
Don't give me that. You know, that cute girl lives right down the block. She's a psycho. I don't want anything to do with her.
I do think it's overstated sometime when you're talking about Sumrall to Auburn. He's never said this to me or anything like that. He's from Huntsville. You know, he's recruited the state of Alabama at Kentucky and at Ole Miss. He recruits it pretty well at Tulane. Obviously, he recruited it really well at Troy. And he knows all the high school coaches in Alabama, like he knows his best friend. But he ain't coming to take that job just because of that, because he'll be closer to his family and his wife Jenny's family in Huntsville and all that kind of stuff. That ain't going to be, that's not nearly as much of a pull as zeros on the end of a
no doubt. You can get on an airplane wherever you want. And, you know, I there again, you slap too many people on the back, you're going to end up with it in your hand.
This is going to be on. I don't know if John still has the cork board he used to have beside that used to have the Photoshop picture of the little kid in an Auburn hat giving the finger to somebody.
Whoa, that was way before Photoshop was around.
So that kid, that little 3-year-old did give somebody the finger.
I think maybe the Auburn shirt that he had on might have been
been superimposed or something. John's going to have that Sumrall quote on that cork board.
That's somewhere. A good one. I thought, man, that
again, for those people who maybe don't have time later to watch us again, the quote from Sumrall: "If you keep slapping people on the back, you're going to end up with a handful of poop."
I thought, man, that is awesome. That was right. That was right after he had shown his 5 keys to success, a la Nick Saban. He keeps on his desk.
Yeah,
I thought, the LSU people like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We like that kind of stuff coming up. Chris the Bammer is just about tired of all this. We'll spin.
How about Tobias out in Arizona? He's not a big Kiffin fan.
He says, I don't see the appeal with Kiffin, and he should stay at Ole Miss. CJ Duncan says no. He says it's time for him to go. Has Kiffin shown any interest in high school recruiting? Does being the portal king go over well in Gainesville? Being a winner goes over in Gainesville. And CJ's of the opinion it's like the song in the musical Oklahoma, where everything's up to date in Kansas City. Lane Kiffin in Oxford, he feels, has gone about as far as he can go. There's a ceiling in Oxford that he perceives.
I'm, and there again, Barry, we talked about this big win at Oklahoma, but can Ole Miss keep it going? Like South Carolina this week, Citadel, Florida, Mississippi State. The rest of their road is a lot smoother to me, but that hiccup's coming.
Yeah.
If they can avoid the hiccup,
that VORP
and win out could be huge.
That big VORP is coming somewhere on that.
I mean, if Ole Miss gets to the SEC championship game somehow, some way, it's amazing. Ole Miss has not played Alabama or Texas A&M. I think that tiebreaker would be really, really interesting, particularly if A&M drops a game.
I am here for it. Here for it. If the SEC championship game is Ole Miss Vanderbilt. Awesome. Let's take a break. Coming up.
I wonder what those TV ratings would be like. Ooh.
Big deal. They earned it. Big stinking deal. Who cares?
Hey, ABC, you thrilled about Ole Miss and Vandy? Is there any way we can switch this around?
Forget that. If you earn it, you belong there. I don't give two toots about the ratings. Give me a break. Longshore McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Drive away in a brand new Chevy Silverado Trail Boss or win your share of $25,000 in free play and cash during Victoryland Casino's Truck and Bucks giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit our Players Club and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama.
Drawings November 7th and 8th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
For me because I cannot.
Hey,
there you go. For some reason, Barry, my cursor moves over to my iPad from time to time.
You've got a little setting up there on the top.
I can't get my cursor back to my.
All right, on your to swipe it to the far left of your iPad, and it should go straight up to your laptop.
Yeah,
there's a setting on there that you can make sure that it does not mirror.
Yeah, we'll get that figured out.
There we go.
All right. So is it time for the topic wheel?
Yep. Let's see. There we go. That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. Now we can see John's whole face.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right. Victoryland 777 topic wheel, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, is Victoryland, where you can be a winner too. 6 topics. None of which we have any idea of, and it begins with "Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!"
What's this
Name
about?
of the program. Xfinity Series driver. Give us the headline again. Intentional crash.
Ooh, can't do that.
Martinsville.
Okay.
Martinsville. I didn't know they still raced in Martinsville.
I don't think there's a NASCAR event there.
Yeah. This is Sam Mayer,
Ooh, look how small. That's like the Montgomery International Speedway, Barry. That's the shortest track I've ever seen.
That's like the Eastern Boulevard.
Even though I did win a celebrity race at Montgomery International Raceway years ago, believe it or not.
After the checkered flag flew Saturday night, Martinsville drove him into the wall in turn 1 right after the race was over. That's dangerous. Now he doesn't get to go to Phoenix. Is Jeff Burton related to Jeff Burton, I wonder?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So there's one.
Martinsville too small, I think.
Yeah.
Way too small. Okay.
Yep.
I did figure it out. Okay, let's spin away. Look
there you go.
Look at all those colors, man, greens and whatnot.
All right, here we go. Spin
away.
Again.
All right.
Hey, look at that ad on the left. World-class reporting and expert analysis from the Wall Street Journal. No.
Man.
Longshore McKnight.
Yeah,
Win or go
win or
home.
go. Love it. How many times have I used that about the playoff? Love it.
Lamar, here's my thing, Lamar.
Yep.
I get it that you're from South Florida. I get it that it gets cold sometimes. But when you wear that big old thing over your head at a ball game, that's one thing.
Yep.
Take it off when you go into a press conference because you look like somebody just off the space shuttle.
Yeah, I don't understand. It can't be that cold.
Take that off. It looks dumb. He says, Coach Harbaugh says in a team meeting, every game now is going to be like a win or go home. Do or die right now. The survival of the fittest, the creme de la creme, the what was it? William Shatner character Robert Stack kept saying over again in Airplane. This is what it all comes down to. Separating the men from the boys and everything. By the way, the Ravens play the Dolphins tomorrow night.
Yeah, Thursday night
on Amazon Prime in Miami, and Lamar Jackson finally should be able to play again for the Ravens.
Maybe that could be the Phantom's daily dog selection tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. All right. Let's go again. Got 4 more to go here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. You can be a winner too. Victoryland open 24/7, 365 in Shorter, Alabama.
Is this goalies?
Goalies. I think it is goalies. Yep.
Hockey thing.
Oh, is it a fight?
Must be a goalie fight.
Oh, here we go.
Charlie Lindgren and Linus Ullmark. Give me the headline again here real quick, Gurn. I don't think I've ever thrown a proper punch in my life. Goalie fight. They had a big one, evidently.
Look at this. Right behind
between the Senators and the Capitals.
Oh. See,
you are watching live there. The only possible instance in which John would consider going to a hockey game.
Well, I mentioned, my daughter was from D.C. She's been to some of the Capitals games. She says they're pretty entertaining. I said, okay. We might have to do that, after the first of the year, find the time the Caps, I'd like to see it now. Yes, would I like a fight to break out? Certainly. If I'm going to go to the game, I want to see a fight. I'm going to have to check that out. I got to check that out. And I heard
Senators versus the Capitals. If I had told you before, okay, John, there was a fight, John would be like, ooh, between the Senators and the Capitals. John would be like,
what city's the Senators?
Ottawa, Canada.
Oh, Canadians. Okay.
Ottawa is about the size of Huntsville.
Yeah, right across the river from Detroit. Actually, more south. Actually, that part of Canada dips in.
Yeah.
That should be the 51st state, actually.
Ottawa's actually in northern Quebec, but hey.
Is Windsor? Or
Windsor
is
just
Ontario?
south of
Windsor.
Detroit.
Okay, I got my Canadian cities wrong.
Yeah.
I got pulled over
Ottawa.
at customs in Windsor, crossing the border there one time. A guy found a 270 cartridge in my console and pulled my car over, got the mirrors, got the dogs out. So what's up with this cartridge in your car? So, well, I'm a deer hunter, and I just left it in there. Didn't think twice about it. After about 30, 40 minutes, they let me go. But I was thinking, what are these Canadian prisons like? Jeez.
Ottawa is, it's not too far from Montreal. It is in Ontario.
Okay.
It's the capital of Canada, by the way. So it'd be the 51st state capital if John does his. Yeah.
They got all that land, and the capital of the nation is way down there. Huh.
Well, heck, 70% of the population is way down there. I think I read somewhere 75% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the United States.
What's that
border.
tell you? Yeah. It's kind of like Tallahassee being the state capital of Florida.
I mean, it's like 30 miles from Georgia. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Carson City's right across the Lake Tahoe from California.
I've actually driven through downtown Carson City, believe it or not. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Let's spin away. 3 to go. Let's go at it and see what we got here. Victoryland 777 topic. We've got some Christmas colors working today. Please don't put your Christmas decorations out just yet. We got a little ways. New start.
Yeah.
New start. See what we got here. Oh,
Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
Can we please show this one? Show this one again. We mentioned this the other day. How embarrassing is this for Rattler?
Yeah.
That guy, first of all, he throws the pick to the defensive lineman. Second of all, the defensive lineman treats Spencer Rattler like a mosquito. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah. Can we trade that guy?
John, his NFL career is bound to be over. You cannot come back from something like that. Tyler Shuck.
Know nothing about him.
Yeah. He went to about 2 or 3 different colleges.
We'll take him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a placeholder until the Saints draft.
The draft.
Who?
Well, it's funny. They wanted Arch, and then they wanted Nussmeier. I don't know. I mean, is Ty Simpson really? Is he the highest rated quarterback, says Mel Kiper Jr.?
It's a mess.
All right, let's spin away, see what we got here. On the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Tyler. Oh, jeez. How bad can it get?
Stolen W.
It's got to be an Auburn football game. What could this be about?
Adem Bona. Overtime, Sixers and the Wizards. I have never heard of Aiden Bona before in my life.
He must have hit a game winner here.
They were down 19?
That'll happen.
The Sixers were down 19?
Boom.
Oh.
Panties. Look at that. He's heading to the locker room.
That's Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. How about that? They steal.
Yeah. Look, in the NBA, you can be up 20. Forget it. You better be up 20 with 2 minutes to go.
There you go. One more.
NBA. One more to go. Let's spin away to make it official. Last panel here on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel, brought to you by Victoryland, where you can be a winner too. Truck $2 giveaway. The more you go to Victoryland, the better your chances of winning.
Quick word from our great friend Gary Gallant, who is watching us in Amherstburg, Ontario. Gary is one of our many worldwide listeners. He's my favorite, one of my favorite Canadians out there. And he says, Canadian geography is never going to be the same. Yeah, Ottawa is not Windsor. It is not in Quebec, like Barry said, but it's right near Quebec because I knew it was near Montreal. They do have an NHL team, and they are the capital of the whole schmear of Canada.
You have it.
The whole bit. There you go. Thank you, Gary, for watching as always.
Yes, we appreciate that, Gary. We're glad to know we're international around here. Love that. All right, this is
shaking off. Is this like a bad hop grounder? Hey, man, shake it off.
Or when you walk out of the men's room.
Oh, yeah. That 18-inning game that ended at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, Shohei gives up the 2-run homer to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and a 1-0 lead becomes a 2-1 Blue Jays lead. They never lose the lead. Guerrero's had a terrific postseason. Had one of my favorite videos of all time whenever they ousted the Yankees. The Yankees lose. Yankees lose. It was great.
Maybe that's why Trump was able to watch the game, because it was probably like 10 in the morning over there, not 2 in the morning like it was here.
Game 5 of the series. It's tied 2 apiece tonight at Dodger Stadium beginning at 7 o'clock.
I will be on the Mary Hart lookout.
Yeah, she'll be there. There ain't no doubt she'll be there.
I will be looking for Mary Hart to see how well she's aged over the years.
Tomorrow, you know where else we'll be?
Where's that?
We're going to be at Montgomery Regional Airport.
We are. That's right, Barry. We're at MGM tomorrow live from 7 to 9, but you'll be able to watch us whenever you like.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this new platform. Also, our man Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover. Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, will join us tomorrow as well, so we're looking forward to it. And we got some Thursday night NFL. We got some Thursday night college. Will we have Thursday night World Series as well?
Coming up on Thursday night, we will not. Wednesday, and then on Friday, once again, it goes into the weekend, but we shall see. Theotis, not sure about Josh Harris rescheduled for tomorrow.
Oh, could be. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Could be. Just stay tuned.
I'll see how the meeting goes.
Many thanks with C.J. Duncan's visit from Yellowhammer News, Robert Kahn from Phoenix Physical Therapy, Gurn Jr., our esteemed producer. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.